Hello dear students, how are you? I wish all of you will be healthy and safe. So today we are going to start a very interesting topic and very important topic in Python, that is function. Okay, so what is function? A function is a group of related statements that perform a specific task. Means you have a group of statement to perform a specific task. Okay, so function help break our program into smaller and modular chunks. If you have a large program, so using function you can break your program into small parts. Okay, as your program grows larger and larger, the function make it more organized and manageable. Till now you have created a very small programs. As you move further, your program becomes more larger. Okay, it can have 100 lines, 200 lines, even thousands of lines. So it will be very difficult to manage such type of programs. So for this you have to create the functions. Okay, so it avoid repetition and makes the code reusable. Okay, sometimes you have to repeat the same code again and again. Okay, so in this case what you will do, you will store the particular repetitive code in a repetitive code, and you will use that repetitive code using a single word. Okay, so function make the code reusable. Okay, to understand this situation I have to explain an example. Okay, now let's see. So this is the program to find out the SCF of two numbers. Okay, so in this program first you will take the two numbers and it will returns the SCF of given two numbers, that is A. Okay, what will happen if you have three numbers to find out the SCF? Okay, for example you have three numbers like this. Okay, so how will you find out the SCF of two numbers? So in this case, first of all you have to find out the SCF of these two numbers. Okay, after finding out the SCF of these two numbers, so you have to find out the SCF of again the result, the SCF of these two numbers and this number. Means the SCF of 23 and 56 will be 1, and you have to find out the SCF of 1 and 67 again. Okay, and the SCF of 1 and 67 will be again 1. So in this case you have to find out the SCF thrice. First you have to find out the SCF of these two numbers, again you have to find out the SCF of these two numbers. Means you have to find out the SCF two times. Okay, so what will happen if you have to find out the SCF of four numbers? Okay, so you have to repeat the code again. First you will find out the SCF of these two numbers, again you have to, now you will find out the SCF of 1 and 67, and the SCF of 1 and 67 will be 1. Now again you have to find out the SCF of 1 and 70, then you will get 1 again. Okay, so here you have to repeat the program many times. One time, the first time you will find out the SCF of these two numbers, again you have to find out the SCF of these two numbers, or again you have to find out the SCF of these. Means you have to repeat the code three times. Okay, so this is the situation and this is the problem. If you repeat the code again and again, your program becomes more larger. Okay, so how to resolve this problem? See, the A and B equals to, for example, 10 and 34. Okay, no use of this code. Okay, now the SCF of A will, SCF of two numbers will be, now see the result, it will return 2. Okay, your SCF is stored in A, so no need to. What will happen if you have three numbers? Okay, now the third number will be stored in C. So now you make it as a comment, and again you have to repeat this code. C. Okay, and SCF of three numbers, and you have to replace B by C. See, okay, now you can see the result. The SCF of given three numbers equals to 1. If you have four numbers, in this case you have to repeat the code again. Now make it as comment. Now replace C by D. Okay. SCF of given four numbers. No, repeat run your code. Now SCF of given phone number is 1. So now you can see you are repeating your code again and again. Okay, and your program is becoming larger and larger. Okay, to resolve this problem, we will group this particular statement, the repetitive statement. Okay, and we will give these statement as a name. Okay, so now let's see. For example, okay, now I am creating a function. No need to worry. Okay, I am giving a demo. Okay, for example, you are creating a function like name is SCF and your parameter is A and B. Okay, now the repetitive statements will be stored in the function. Write down return. Now this is your repetitive statement. Now this block of statement is called as SCF. Now you have a function with name SCF. Whenever you find out the SCF of two numbers, you have to use this SCF keyword and you have to pass these two parameters. So using only this keyword, you will find out the SCF of two numbers. For example, suppose you have two values A and AB. Okay, and now print, write down the keyword SCF only and pass the values A comma B. Okay, if you pass this value, now you can check. Sorry, what is the error while R is not okay? One thing is remain. You have to initialize the value R equals to 1 now. Now you can see the SCF of A and B is 2. If you have to find out the SCF of three numbers, in this case, no need to repeat the statement again. Okay, 67. So here you will use the keyword SCF of A and SCF of B and C. Okay, so first you will find out the SCF of B and C. After getting the result of the SCF of these two numbers, you will find out the SCF of the result and the A. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now you can see the result. Now 1. The SCF of these three numbers is 1. So this is the use of function. How to create it, we will discuss it later. But now you should know about the use of function. Okay, so that's why we are calling the function. It avoids repetition and make the code reusable. Okay. Okay, now you should know how to create a function. Okay, syntax of function. So first of all, you have to write down the def keyword. Now after that, you have to write down the function name, and here you have to write down pass out the parameters. It is optional. You can write the parameters or you cannot write the parameters. And here the doc string. Okay, so doc string is used to explain about the function, and here you will write down the statement and return keyword. Okay, it is also optional. Now one by one, we will discuss these things. The keyword def make the start of the function header. Using def keyword, you are starting your function. The function name is uniquely identify the function. Function naming follows the same rules of writing the identifiers in Python. And you know the ruling name of identifier. So these ruling name you will use to write down the name of the function. Okay. So it is always a good idea to name function according to the task they perform. Okay. According to the performing the task, you have to mention the name of the functions. Well, why? Because you will identify the function immediately. Okay. Now parameter, the arguments through which we can pass the values of a function. In the given example, I have given the two parameters. So this function will work on these two parameters. Okay. So next one, the parameter. Okay, they are optional. Okay, sometimes you will leave it blank also. Okay, so colon mark the end of the function header. Either you have to write down the colon keyword. Okay, now you have the colon. Okay, next, the optional documentation string is doc string to describe what the function does. Okay, so let's see. For example, here you have to write down the doc string like this. 3 here. So this function is used to find the SCF of two numbers. Okay, so the doc string is used to explain about the function. Okay, now, so one or more valid Python string that makes up the function body. Okay, so here you have to write down the statement, the block of a statement. Okay, and optional return statement to return the value from the function. This is optional. You can return the value or you may not return the value. Okay, so this is about the syntax of the function. Okay, now types of function. Basically, we can divide the function into two types. Now, built-in function. We have discussed more about the built-in functions, just like your mathematical function, string functions. Okay, all these are your built-in functions. So Python provides a huge library of built-in functions. Okay, as we move further, we will discuss more about in built-in function. And the second one is user-defined function. What are user-defined functions? The functions defined by user or programmer are called user-defined function. Means function defined by the users themselves. So Python user-defined function, the functions that we define ourselves. मतलब आप जो function अपने लिए बना रहे खुद के लिए बना रहे according to your requirement are called user-defined function. To do certain specific tasks are referred as user-defined function. All other functions that we write on our own fall under user-defined function. Means जो function आप खुद बना रहे हो अपने लिए बना रहे हो, all these type of functions are called user-defined functions. Okay, so what are the advantage? User-defined functions help to decompose a large program into a small segment, as you see, which makes program easy to understand and maintain and debug. So here, so in this program, there is no need to know about the what is the functioning of what is the statement inside the SCF. You have to know that the SCF function is used to find out the SCF only. Okay. Now, if repeated code occurs in a program, function can be used to include those codes and execute when needed by calling that function. Okay, if repeated code occurs, so there is no need to repeat the code again and again. You have to call the function. So programmers working on large project can divide the workload by the making different functions. Suppose you have a large project in your team, there are many members. So what you will do, you will divide this project to the multiple programmers. Okay, they will create their own functions, and after that you will include all these functions in your program. Okay, so for example, we have already discussed the example. The one more example is there. For example, you have a function like greet. So this is the def keyword. Here you have to write down the function name, and here the parameter is name. Okay, so this is your doc string. Okay, and print. This is the statement, print hello name. So this is the name. Okay, the name which you pass, it will print here. Okay, and next one is how to call a function. This is the way to defining a function, and the next one is the calling a function, means using a function in your program. This is called calling a function. Okay, so here this is the defining of the function, but here you are calling the function, okay, in your program. Once we have defined a function, we can call it from another function, program, or even the Python prompt. You can use that function anywhere. To call a function, we simply tag the function name with appropriate parameters. Okay, here you have called the function with appropriate parameter. Here you have mentioned that to call this function you need two parameters. Okay, so here you are calling the function. To calling the function you need two parameters. For example, this b and c, two parameters are there. So after return, it will return a single value. This single value and this single value will pass to the next SA function. Okay, now so this is the way to, now the name, now you are calling the function. Okay, now the function, so here you are passing the parameter Paul. So what will be the it will return hello, and the here name is Paul, hello name, hello Paul, good morning. Okay, so now doc string, the first string after the function header is called doc string. The first string after the header is called doc. This is the document string. Okay, documentation, it is called documentation string. It is briefly used to explain what a function does, as we have discussed earlier. Although optional, it is optional. Okay, it is not compulsory. Okay, you can define it or you cannot define it. Okay, good programming, but it is a good programming practice. This string is available to use the underscore doc attribute of the function. Okay, if you want to use this string, okay, if you want to know the functioning of the program, so you use this keyword with function. Let's see. For example, I want to know the functioning of this SCF function. So write down print what SCF. Here you write dot underscore. Okay, now run this program. Now you can see this function is used to find the SCF of two numbers. So this is the way to know the functioning of the program. You have to write down the function name with dot operator and underscore doc dot underscore. Okay. Okay. So now the print greet. This is the function name dot underscore doc underscore. So this is the way to check the functioning of the program. Okay, next one is the return statement. The return statement is used to exit a function. It is used to exit a function and go back to the place from where it is called. Okay, when you return the function, suppose if you call this function, so here you have to pass the value, that these values will go to this function. Okay, after executing all the statement, it will return the value. It will return to and return a. It will return the value and it will go back to the function here. Okay, so this is the use of return keyword. Okay, students, so enough for this session. Okay, I hope all of you are able to understand the function, and you will try to make the more programs related to function. You will practice about the function. Okay, try to make more some programs related to functions. Thank you, students. Have a nice day. Be healthy, be safe.